Okay, well, let's begin. So, hello, welcome to Tai Chi for Veterans Only with Jessica. And I bet you guessed that I'm Jessica, and you'd be right. I'm Jessica Lewis, and I am very happy to be here today to flow along with you today and show you a little bit of Tai Chi. And today's class, as well as all the classes on the live stream, are brought to you by the Tai Chi for Yoga, Tai Chi and Yoga for Veterans program. It's a national program, actually, a federal program, I should say. It was put together by the VA Community Care Network, and it is managed by a wonderful organization called Tai Chi Fit International. And it was designed specifically to bring incredibly health and life enhancing classes to our nation's military heroes absolutely for free. And I have really good news for you. In addition to all of that, that was great news. But even more good news for you today specifically is that you don't have to learn anything today. You don't have to memorize anything. You don't need to worry about getting anything right, because guess what? There's no such thing as bad Tai Chi. The Tai Chi police are not going to come and take you away if you get something wrong. You know, like I said, there's no such thing as bad Tai Chi. And so what that really means is if I move this body part and you move this body part, or maybe even a foot, you know what, I really don't care because it doesn't matter. The best way to do Tai Chi is with what we call the effort of no effort. So even worrying about, am I getting it right? That's way too much work. So just copy what you see me doing to the best of your ability. Know that that is more than good enough. And pretty soon you'll be feeling for yourself what it's like to simply go with the flow. And I love to think of the word of flow as an acronym: following love over worry, right? So today's class is being recorded, and really what that's about is so the CEO of Tai Chi Fit, David Dorian Ross, we all call him DDR, and Marcus Carbo, his second in command, they really just want to see that you're having a good time. Okay, so if you have any trepidations whatsoever to being recorded, just turn off your camera, and that's totally okay. All right. Oh, and a little disclaimer. Although I am certified as a Tai Chi Fit and Tai Chi for Veterans instructor and the VA Community Care Network provider, I'm also an accredited Tai Chi Cha instructor, and I also have a torn upper right bicep attachment and labrum. So today we're going to do a little Tai Chi Cha, which to you is going to look just like pretty much any Tai Chi you've ever seen, only with one tiny little distinction, is that they're little moments of mindfulness built right in to some of the movements and in between the movements. So that being said, let's get up and do, I think, maybe about 30, 35 minutes of flow. Okay, are you ready to go? All right, let me shift my camera around here. I'm going to get rid of the chair. Another really cool thing about Tai Chi, any style of Tai Chi really, is that it's just as effective whether you're doing it standing or seated. My camera just got a little wonky, so let me fix that. There we go. Oh, you know what? I should have changed my name. My bad. Now we're good. And I'm going to kick off my slippers. Yes, we're in my house. So you're getting to see a little bit of the magic behind the curtain here. Okay. Let's just begin to get present to the present moment. And the best way to do that is to simply feel your feet touching the floor. Go ahead and wiggle your toes. Wiggle your toes. Can you see me wiggling my toes? Really feel your feet touching the floor. And if you've got big clunky shoes on, you can still feel your feet touching the floor, because just feel the hardness of your shoes resting against the bottoms of your feet. Okay? Oh, and here's an even easier way to feel your feet touching the floor. If my feet were my hands and I could show them to you easily, you'd see that my feet are in sort of a V shape. So put your feet in sort of a V shape, whatever shape works for you, and even this is okay, right? Now, let's figure out the best way to really spread your weight out across the soles of both your feet. Let's start by not spreading out your weight. Send your knees backwards. In fact, lock them, right? Now, I don't know if you can see me well enough, but when I send my knees all the way to the back and lock them, my toes are actually so light, all my weight is in my heels, that I can wiggle my toes with no effort at all, right? So notice that. Just send your knees all the way to the back and notice where your weight is. All right, now, just allow your knees to be soft enough that your weight suddenly spreads out across the soles of both your feet. My feet feel like they suddenly got bigger. They're kind of oozing out on all the margins. My weight is spreading out. Do you feel that? Yeah. This is different from bending your knees, which is work. It's just letting them be soft, right? Right. All right, now, what are we going to do with our hands? Let's find a nice anatomical neutral position for our hands too. So I'm starting with letting my arms hang down from my shoulders. That's super easy, right? It's easy for you too, I'm sure. And then just lift the fingertips, almost like you're resting your palms on an invisible countertop that suddenly magically appeared in front of you. Okay. And I'm even going to show you this position from the side, so you're going to see how sort of soft and curvy this is. There's little curves in my elbows, little curves in my knees there. And my tailbone's actually a little bit tucked under. And in Tai Chi chest speak, we call this the rest position. Just feel your body at rest. You know what's really cool about the rest position is that it gives you an opportunity to notice all the flow that's going on inside your body, even when your body isn't moving. There's breath flowing, there's blood flowing, there's thoughts flowing. Everything is flowing around in there. Just notice how incredibly comfortable and safe it is to simply be here in stillness for a few moments. Nice. And if you aren't breathing very evenly, go ahead and see if just by thinking about it, you start to breathe in a more relaxed way. Just go ahead and just breathe. All right, so now let's begin our actual practice. We're going to put all of our weight in this leg. We're going to sort of sink over there a little bit so we can step out with this leg. And we're going to straighten out the toes. And now send your weight backwards. The easiest way to do that is send your knees back. Put your hands back there too. And now we're simply going to begin to flow forward and flow back. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see it this way. Flowing forward, flowing back. And see if you can allow your body to move in such an effortless way that your arms begin to move specifically because you're shifting your weight. It's like they're willow branches, and the weight shift is sort of blowing them up, blowing them back. Or maybe you're tossing a sheet gently out over the mattress, and then it just sort of floats down. And you're probably noticing that my heels and then my toes occasionally leave the floor, but I assure you I'm using no effort here. All that's happening is I'm shifting my weight all the way back and then lengthening the knees And shifting the weight all the way forward and lengthening the knees. That little knee lengthening sort of ends the weight shift and peels the toes and the heels off the floor for me. There's no work involved here. We call this movement rocking motion. It's a little bit like when we were kids and we had swings that were made of ropes and boards. You remember that? And you could get them going with a little hip action, but that was a lot of work. This is like the anti-hip action. The effort of no effort. I'm going to face you again so we can do a few more facing each other. And you know what? Let's go even slower. Feeling the weight shift. Forward and back. Let's do 2 more. And then on this last one, we're going to head back the direction we came from. And then just let the body float back down into stillness. Like that sheet floating down to the mattress. And just feel the stillness in your body that certainly isn't still. Just feel that for a moment. Now let your palms float down. You might even feel them almost being attracted to one another, especially the heels of the hands. You know, we call this polarity, when you feel that sense of something between your palms. We're going to do a movement called bird flaps its wings. Just let your body sink and rise. And sinking and rising. This time, when you sink and your little bird wings flap out, draw a little circle in the air with the tip of your wings and then rise. I'll do this movement from the side for you. We're going to do the whole thing again. Let the sinking send your little bird wings away from the body, and the rising pull them back. And sink and rise. Now draw a little circle in the air with just the tips of your wing feathers there. Good. And this isn't really like bending your knees. I'm just letting the weight shift to the balls of the feet, and I'm letting my body sink. And then shifting back to the whole feet and rising. Just feel how easy this can be. And here comes the circle. And we're going to end this any way that feels natural and easy to you. Just float back down to that gentle resting position. And feel the stillness that isn't still. All that's going on inside your body. Right? It's just flow, getting ready to break out and move. And now we're going to do a movement called around the platter. And the easiest way to do it is we're going to sink down. Okay? Now shift into either leg. I'm going to shift into the right. If you're facing away from the camera, shift into the leg that's closer to the camera. How about that? We will all be moving the same way. And then your other leg should suddenly feel so empty that you can simply extend the knee with no work. There it is. It's like I just put my heel out in a frozen pond, but I don't know if I'm going to break through, so I'm not putting any weight on it. Now visualize a big round platter out in front of your body about the height of your heart. And just put your hands on the back of it. Maybe even you have a little ball of energy underneath each hand, and the balls are on the platter. And as we flow forward into that front leg, and then back again, let your hands circle around the platter. And that's why it's called around the platter. I'm going to do one more from the side. And now I'm going to show you from the front. Good. Feel that front leg filling up so much that the rear leg empties, and now the front leg empties. We are simply moving the same way most things in the universe move, in circles and cycles and seasons. You could call it a day, you could call it trade winds, you could call it waves. I like to call it yinning and yanning. And the hands never stop moving. They're moving completely circularly. So let that really circular movement, that circuitous movement of the hands, inform the way you allow yourself to shift weight. We're going to do one more. And then flow back to the soles of the feet. And let's do the other side. So we're going to sink down and into the other leg, extending the empty leg, which should be an effortless thing. And we're going to flow out and back. Whichever leg is sticking out, that's the side that your hands flow out. You can do it the other way, but it might not feel quite as relaxing. Nice. Feel all the energy that's in your body at all times, actually. Flowing around in there, flowing into all the nooks and crannies of your body, especially the ones that are injured or tight or stiff. Let's do two more. Last one. Nice. And let all that energy you just stirred up settle down in the marrow of your bones. You know, that's one reason why Tai Chi makes you healthier. Let's do a variation of the movement we just did. We're going to sink down, shift over, extend the empty leg, hands back up to the back of the platter. Start to move, and then right in front of the shoulder that's on the same side as the leg that's sticking out. Right there. Your fingertips are going to lift as if they suddenly have a ball between them and just guide it off the front edge of the platter. We call this, oddly enough, around the platter variation. Look at all the circles we're making here in these movements. Circularity is one of the great secrets of the universe. Let's do one more. Flowing back to the soles of the feet. Pausing here just long enough to feel them touching the floor. And then sinking down and shifting into the other leg. And here we go on the other side. Nice. You know what else I forgot to do today? Turn on music. Oh, well. There's no such thing as bad Tai Chi. I make mistakes all the time, and I'm still here to tell the tale, right? This is proof there are no Tai Chi police. Let's do two more. Last one. Flowing back to the soles of the feet. Feeling the feet touching the floor. Let's sink down and shift over into the other leg. Let your empty leg extend. Just turn your palms over at the bottom here. And as we flow forward, let the hands come up as if they're going to clap, but oops, you missed the clap. Now remember, there's no such thing as Tai Chi police. So if you don't cross your hands exactly the way that I do, it doesn't matter and I don't care. But If you're curious which hand is the one that is closer to the body, typically we say it's the one that's closer to the heart. Let's do one more. Floating back to the soles of the feet. That movement was called Daughter on the Mountaintop. Let's do the other side. The hands start low to climb a mountain high, right? Now, no matter which foot is out, we typically have the hand that's closer to the heart, closer to the heart. But again, there's no such thing as wrong here. And this movement in particular, you can really see how easy it is to do, even when you've got a really badly injured shoulder. The upper arms don't even need to leave the upper body. Let's do one more. Flowing down to the soles of the feet. Let's sink down and shift over. Extend your empty leg. We're going to do a move that's complementary to Daughter on the Mountaintop. This one's called Daughter in the Valley, and here we go. Nice. I love this one. The other movement looked a little bit like I was unzipping my jacket. This one looks like we're zipping it back up, right? Nice. Let's do one more. And let's do the other side. We're going to sink down and shift. And here we go. Feeling the energy being activated and circulated around your body. Rising and falling, just like tides. Coming around again. You can see the hand drawing circles in the air. Let's do two more. Last one. And floating down to the soles of the feet. Feeling all the energy flowing into the nooks and crannies of your body, especially the injured or tight ones. Just like water, right? Water always finds a way in. Let's do a side-to-side movement. This one's called Carry the Ball to the Side. So we're going to sink down. We're going to shift over. We're also going to turn the belly a little bit. It's going to feel like your whole side is loaded up with weight, right? So you're going to put your hands up on that side too, like you're holding a ball. This leg is so empty, it should be able to sneak away from the body with no work. And now let us begin turning in that direction and shifting and turning away from it. You're going to feel this yinning and yanning thing again. Into one leg and away from the other, and then vice versa. Nice. Now, normally, if I weren't on camera and a little bit concerned about actually walking off this quote-unquote stage, I would be taking a few steps from side to side, but we're doing this slightly differently today in order to accommodate my little TV studio here. And it's totally fine. And now we're just going to stand up on that filling up leg and allow the body to float back down to rest, like the sheet on the mattress. Let's go back the other way. Nice. Another thing I absolutely love about Tai Chi is that even though it's incredibly powerful, evidence-based treatment option for the longest list of nasty conditions you can possibly imagine, it's also almost infinitely customizable. Like you just heard me say, I changed this movement a little bit specifically for the live stream. You can do it seated. You can do it standing. You can do it intentionally in your head. Let's say you're stuck in bed with COVID. You can do it in your mind. This is the last one. Nice. Let's do a movement related to carry the ball to the side. This one's called passing clouds. It's probably one of the most well-known, well-loved Tai Chi Chuan movement, and it looks a lot like corresponding movements in almost every Tai Chi practice out there. Did you know there's like 50 Tai Chi practices in the world? Yeah, there's a lot of different kinds. So we're going to sink, we're going to shift, and we're going to turn. And that's going to cause the hand to rise over here. All right. Again, you got an empty leg on this side. So let it just sneak out. And when we start shifting that direction, let it pull this hand along for the ride. Here we go. Ah. And then when we shift back, let it pull the other hand along. Yes. Nice. You know what I love most about this movement? I'm going to date myself here. Do you remember the Karate Kid? I'm old enough to remember the Karate Kid. In fact, I love Karate Kid. I loved it so much. It's probably why I practiced karate for about 10 years. This is a lot like wax on, wax off, right? But way easier. Let your turning body move the hands for you when they're moving across your body like clouds in the sky. There. And then they just change positions. And there. Let your body move as one holistic, integrated being. Let's do one more set. And then flow back to the soles of the feet. Feel your feet touching the ground and feel the stillness inside that is not still. Breath flowing, blood flowing. We're going to do a movement called working the pulley, which is almost like a forward-backward version of the movement we just did. And I'm going to turn a little sideways because my wall's right here and I'm going to whack my hand otherwise. So let's all sink down. And if you're sideways to the camera, sink into the leg that's closer to the camera, although it really doesn't matter. Extend the empty leg. And that's the hand that's going to rise, the one on the side of the empty leg. Turn the other hand so it faces the ceiling. We're going to flow forward, and this hand's going to go with, but the body's going to turn, and that's going to pull the other hand behind. So I'm going to shut up now. Just copy me. Here we go. And then we go back the other way. Now, I often wear words on my shirt, but today I do not have any. I do, however, have my jacket kind of half unzipped. So you can definitely see my waist is turning from side to side. Right now you see the white of my shirt. And now you see just my black jacket. Let your turning body move the hands most of the time right here. And here. And they just switch positions on the other side, on either end. Right there. There. This one's called working the pulley because theoretically it's like your fingertips are running around two old-fashioned clotheslines with pulleys in front of each shoulder and behind each shoulder. We're going to do one more. And we're going to end any way that's easiest for you. Nice. And let's sink down and do the other side. And here we go. Flowing forward and turning. Flowing back and turning. Now, you know, if you get your arms and legs confused, You paid your penny, or I should say the VA paid your penny. So just enjoy the carnival ride, okay? It's no biggie. But if you want to get technical about it, the leg you're flowing into is the same side as the arm that's flowing forward. But again, there's no such thing as bad Tai Chi. Just move softly and smoothly and circuitously, and all will be well, I promise you. Let's do one more. Floating back to the soles of the feet. Feeling the feet touching the floor. And then we're going to do another movement. Let's do something called pulling taffy. We're going to begin very slowly. In fact, I'll tell you what, let your arms hang down. Let's sink down, shift over, and turn the body. Oh, and look, this shoulder just came forward. Let's go right back up again. Let's see how that works. Sink down, shift, and turn. This shoulder came forward. It's telling this arm to go somewhere, so just place it across your belly. Okay? And then, look, this leg is so empty, it should be able to just sort of sneak out to the side. And we're going to shift that direction now and let the arm come along for the ride. And then we're going to stand for just a moment and feel the feet touching the ground. Here's a little mindfulness built right in. Let's go back the other way. We're going to sink, shift, and turn. Let the arm get sent across the belly for you. Let your empty leg extend, and we're shifting. Let's do this again without me talking. Just follow me. Sink, shift, and turn. I guess I talked. Nice. It's almost like throwing a frisbee. If I want to throw it that way, I got to wind up the other way. And then toss the frisbee. It's like a very mindful version of frisbee golf. We're going to add the second hand. Here we go. The other one just sneaks up on top here. It's like we're going to make a little sandwich out of our forearms. Okay, let your empty legs sneak out, and then smear a little peanut butter on either side of that piece of bread in there. And then sink down to the soles of your feet for just a moment. Let's go back the other way. Nice. Feeling the body at rest for just a moment. And then doing it again. Nice. Feeling the body at rest for just a moment and then moving. Feeling the energy settling down in the marrow of your bones and then moving. Nice. And we're going back the other way. That movement was called pulling taffy. We were pulling energetic taffy between our hands. Let's do perpetual motion taffy. It's a variation of pulling taffy. It's what you just did, only continuous. So let's go, okay? Now, you know what? If your arms and legs get confused, no worries. There's nothing wrong, okay? Let's do it one hand at a time. That'll be easier. Let's start that way. We're going to sink, shift, and turn. Let the shifting weight carry the arm along for the ride and let it pull the other arm across your belly now. Aha! Feel how easy this is. In fact, we're shifting and turning so much that your trailing leg is so empty it actually leaves the floor for a moment. I bet you've heard that Tai Chi is really good for improving your balance. Now, many people come to me and they say, I can't stand on one foot. Well, first of all, I think that's silly because anybody who can walk can stand on one foot, right? But we forget that that's actually standing on one foot. But once they begin doing movements like this, they can definitely stand on one foot for a period of time. We're going to do one more set with just one hand. And guess what? I'm going to add the second arm, but you don't need to. You can keep going one hand at a time, or you can just stop and watch and visualize yourself doing it. That is just as powerful, just as health enhancing. And if your arms and legs get confused, remember the VA paid your penny. Just enjoy the carnival ride. Nice. We're going to do one more set. You probably hear me breathing heavily. That's mostly because I get so relaxed I start to sigh. And there's no precise breathing technique with Tai Chi. The most important thing is that you just breathe. So whatever works for you is fine. Feel the body at rest. Feel all that energy you just stirred up settling down in all the nooks and crannies, running down like water into all the little cracks and crevices. Let's do another forward-backward movement before we end for the day. So let's all sink down, shifting over, extending the empty leg. Hands are going to be maybe about elbow height, palms facing each other now. And as we flow forward, the fingertips are going to circle down and then back up and around. A big old high school marching band bass drum. Have you ever seen one of those guys marching in the band? They have a big old drum strapped to their shoulders right out in front of them. Feel your fingertips running around the outside edge as you yin and yang again. Into the back leg. And flowing into the front leg while that back leg empties. Let's do two more. Nice. Last one. Flowing down to the soles of the feet. Let's do the other side. Sinking down and shifting, extending the empty leg, and here we go. Relax the hands, the fingers, the wrists. See if you can get so relaxed that the forces of gravity start to change the way your body flows. See how the fingers naturally begin to dip down at the bottom and then flip back up at the top. I'm going to do one more from the side, and then I'm going to come back to face you. Yeah, here we go. Let's do one more. And flowing back to the soles of the feet. And let's end with a little more rocking motion. It's so much fun, I like to do it twice. All right, so place all your weight in this leg so you can step out with the other leg. Send your weight and your knees and your hands behind you, and let's flow forward and flow back. Check in with your body and see if this movement is a little easier, a little more familiar now. It might have felt a little bit different when you first did it. New things are always a little challenging. Did you ever notice that we get really good at stuff that we practice a lot? Did you ever notice that? Hold that thought. We're going to talk about that in a minute. turn towards you again. We're going to do 2 more. And the last one, we're going to head back the direction we came from and simply float back down to the soles of the feet, feeling the body at rest, allowing the energy you just stirred up to just seep down into all little nooks and crannies of your body, especially the tight or sore spots, like water finding its way in. In fact, see if you can allow your life to become more like water. Soft stuff always wins in the universe, right? It wears down hard stuff every time. And most of all, I really want you to know your body is a very safe place to be under any circumstances. Let's end with a pose. Just lift up. I'm going to actually use the words left and right here. I know we don't normally do that, but this one is called Cosmic Consciousness Pose. Lift up your left heel. You don't shift your weight at all. Just lift up your left heel, rotate it a little bit, and place it down very lightly on your right ankle. And let your arms rise up so that your wrists and fingers and forearms are all pretty much on the same level as your shoulders. And if that feels like work, remember we're supposed to do no work here, just visualize your forearms are resting on an invisible high countertop. Let's just be here for a moment, feeling the feet touching the floor. And if you can't balance in this way, just do this with your arms. And notice all the energy all around us at all times, actually. See if you can notice it. We know from physics it's there. It sort of connects us and binds us together. A little bit like the Force if you're into Star Wars. And just notice you being here in the middle. A very important conduit. And then just flow back to the soles of the feet. Let's give each other a little bow of gratitude. That's about all the Tai Chi I have for you today, but I do have a few more thoughts. If you liked this class and you want to know more, then I encourage you to visit my website. Let me see if I can share the screen here. Here we go. Nope, wrong screen. Let's share a different screen. There we go. That's what I'm talking about here. So this is my website. If you would like to visit this class again, come back on Wednesdays. You got in today, so now you know how to get in again. I'm here every Wednesday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. But I also teach on Mondays at 11 and Wednesdays at 3:15. And if you're on my website, here's the address, by the way, sculptyourlife.com. You can just, no matter where you are, you can click on this tab at the top for classes, and you will automatically go to the place where you're going to see all my classes. All the red, white, and blue stuff, those are veterans classes. However, if you want to know more about the Tai Chi and Yoga for Veterans program, if you just click on this red, white, and blue button here, you will automatically go right to the page. It's going to describe the whole program, some really cool videos here as well. You can hyperlink off onto taichifit.net. You can learn more about the Mission Act. You can learn more about David Dorian Ross. It's terrific. The other thing that I'd like to share with you today, though, is that a number of my friends in this program have been ending their classes with a positive thought for the day. And I really like that idea. So I started thinking about what I'd like to say under those conditions. So here's what I got. Did you know that today is National Umbrella Day? Indeed, it is National Umbrella Day in honor of the humble invention which shield us from the elements, all year long. I mean, not just rain, but sleet and snow and sometimes sun. I mean, I actually carry an umbrella in my purse at all times because you never know when you're going to need one, right? So of course, this started because I'm a Tai Chi instructor. This whole subject started me thinking about, you know, what is my go-to shelter in the storm? In fact, what is yours? Like, what thing do you do? Or what thing do you use? You know, your go-to thing when stuff gets rough in your life. And does that change from time to time? Because, you know, this last year has been a little bit unusual, right? Right. Like under normal circumstances, don't you think that most of the time when it's raining out, you pretty much only need something like this, right? I mean, if it's pouring, you might need more than that, you know, a big old bumper chute. But if it's just drizzling, there's no big deal. But this last year or so has been so bizarre. Haven't you often felt like this? I mean, I have. I teach Tai Chi for a living, my friends, and I have felt like this a lot for the last 365. So where I'm going with this is to say that, you know, we get really good at what we practice most. We talked about that while we were doing Tai Chi, right? So if you frequently practice feeling worried, feeling overwhelmed, having self-doubts, talking to yourself in negative ways, noticing your pain, you know, you're going to get really, really good at that. So why not practice something that enables you to get increasingly comfortable with simply being in the moment, where rotten stuff from the past is no longer happening and scary or dangerous stuff, which may or may not happen in the future, hasn't happened yet, right? And Tai Chi is one of those things. The more you practice it, the better you get at simply being where your feet are. In other words, feel your feet touching the floor. Notice that even when your body is still, there's still all kinds of really cool, safe stuff, health-enhancing stuff going on inside your body, right? So keep coming to Tai Chi class. Practice as much as you can, even on the days when you're not in class. And don't worry about whether or not you're getting it right. Remember, there's no such thing as bad Tai Chi, right? And I promise you that one day, very soon, Tai Chi is going to begin to feel like your very best shelter from the storm, okay? So that's about all I got for today. And I am really grateful that you joined me here today. Really glad to have been here to lead you in this practice. I'm sorry I forgot to turn on my music. Maybe that's the one bad thing about Tai Chi, right? No music. Today, at least. Next time, we'll do better. Anyway, again, I'm Jessica Lewis. The name of my little company is Sculpt Your Life. The name of my website is www.sculpt.com. If you want to visit me again on Wednesdays, just click right back on taichifit.net. Click on the banner at the top about entering a free class and you'll be able to come right in. And I wish you all nothing but health, peace, and all good. Bye-bye now.